Good evening. How is everybody out there? Hope you're staying warm. I didn't know, I just found out Florida's getting cold again for the next 3 days. I'm like, after an 87-degree day, they're going to turn the dial backwards again. So could be worse though. We could be living up in New York or Boston right now, so it could always be worse. But anyway, I hope you guys had a great weekend, and we got a lot of information to share tonight. So please take some good notes. April, you have a new consultant. You want to just say hi or introduce Andrew?
Oh yeah. Hey Andrew. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're excited you're on here. Glad you took the time to join us. So welcome and congrats on starting.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
he's in Baltimore. He's probably seeing some snow also. So anyway, stay warm and safe, everybody. I'm hearing predictions of 30 inches. That's a lot of snow with 60-mile-an-hour winds. So that's kind of crazy. But anyway, hopefully the weather's good where you are. We have a busy couple days, folks, and I'm gonna go right to the slides in a second. I would be remiss, being the sports fan that I am, to not say I am so excited Team USA won twice over Canada, but I still love my Canadian friends. Okay, so and look, the men, it had been 46 years, so just we got one. It's like we got one. But anyway, one of the best games you could have ever imagined. Same thing with the ladies, two great games. So, um, like I said before, and I've talked about this in the past, there's a lot of things in this business that your upline, your sponsor, your the people alongside you in the business, is a lot of things that others can do to help with build your business. They can help train people, they can help support people, they can help mentor people, they can share their marketing materials and post and all that. But there's one thing that we cannot do for others, and that's invite people for you to events. You need to reach out to people when there's events. After that happens, there's a lot of things that a lot of folks can do to help. Okay, but that's the one thing that we can't do. We don't know who's in your phone. We don't know who's in your social media. We don't know who you go to church with. We don't know who you play sports with. We don't have, we can't help, with that. But what we can do after that is we can do three-way calls. We can lend credibility. We can do training. We can provide the expertise and the 33 years experience that we have, just like everyone else on the screen can do. Okay. And I'm bringing that up because Tuesday we have another event. Okay. So let me go to my slides. And April's got a training for you tonight also. Okay. So take some notes here, folks. You know, and again, some of it's repetitive with last week because there's a lot of continuity in what's going on right now. But remember, every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern time, we have Power Hour, and that's where the group gets together to build the business. It's an hour straight of reaching out, doing things on social media. Either April or Dee kind of lead the way with it, and it could be an extremely productive hour if you set it aside, and do it. My office is on the first floor in our house. April's is on the third floor, but I hear more stuff going on back and forth during power hour than any other time with anything else that goes on. So just keep that in mind. Tuesday night, okay, 48 hours from now, okay, is our live product opportunity launch on Zoom. And that's where you invite. Okay. And we're going to talk about that more tonight. But something I want to also share with you, and I don't want to confuse you, but this is something that April and I had on the calendar, and it happens not about, it happens 90 minutes before that. Many of you know Angie Harper. She's another executive in the business. I think she's an EC3 in the business. But we're doing a special training, April and I, for her team. And you guys may not even know about this yourselves, okay? But there's a little known program within LifeVantage that's a wholesale retailer program. The company does not promote it because they want everybody doing things the way they do it. But there's an opportunity for people that have retail opportunities to buy in bulk, okay, keep inventory, and just think doctor's office, salon, maybe a gym, something like that. There's not, so we're going to be doing a training for Angie's team on how to do that because April and I have been doing that for decades, and we helped LifeVantage develop this. Okay, so if you want to hear more about some of the ways that things can be done wholesale, just keep in mind that people have to invest in inventory when they do that. And the only way they get to buy wholesale is buying in bulk. Okay. Just a reminder to register and get yourself booked for Las Vegas. We're less than 8 weeks out now, so it's April 16 to 18, and there's still a lot of great hotel deals available out there. Another thing that we're going to be doing that's very different, Christy Voigt and her organization, and Angie's part of that. Each month, an executive in the company takes that month and they do what they call motivational Mondays. So in March, April and I have taken the month of March. So every Monday at 12 noon Eastern Time, we'll be sharing great stories and testimonies every week about either product testimonies or business testimonies, and that's what it's about. Okay, Motivational Mondays at 12 noon Eastern, and it's on Zoom. I'll show you the invite in a second. It's for people to share their stories so that those of us out there that can relate to someone being a teacher, someone being a nurse, someone being a doctor, someone owning a business, somebody being a policeman, somebody being a fireman, you're going to hear stories from people from all walks of life and what their experience has been with LifeVantage, along with product testimonies. Okay. As I mentioned, after I get through these few slides, April has a training for you this evening. Okay, so this is the information on the Motivational Monday. You can just take a screenshot. I also put this in Telegram in our Healthy Edge group in Telegram, so it's in there. And every Monday for the month of March, we'll be hosting, which means we'll be getting stories out there from our team and other teams sharing their stories and testimonies. And that starts on March 2nd. Okay, this is just a reminder, as I mentioned, with Las Vegas. Okay, so whether you've been there before, and I don't mean Vegas, I mean to a Momentum Academy or an Elite Academy with there's nothing wrong with going and hanging out in Vegas, okay? But whether you've been to an Elite Academy or Momentum Academy, that is where we get great training. That's where we get an opportunity to do great networking. And obviously, that's an opportunity where everybody gets a chance to get their batteries recharged. So the one after that will be our global event. That'll be in Utah. Now, that won't be till October. Okay, so anyway, this is the members of the group that are already registered. Many are registered for both events. Okay, so what I was talking about now on Tuesday night, this Tuesday, I'm calling July 20, not July, it's February 24th. I'm sorry, I wrote the wrong date down. It's February 24th. I'm calling doubleheader. If you're interested in learning more about our wholesale retailer program, that's going to be at 7 o'clock Eastern. We'll only go for about 30 minutes. That'll leave an hour. And then at 8:30, it'll be our opportunity meeting. Two different Zooms. Okay, so the Zoom that you see on the right, that's for the training on the wholesale retailer program. That's Angie Harper's Zoom number. and that's the password and stuff on that. You can take a screenshot. Ours is the same Zoom we use all the time. Okay. All right. So I mentioned Power Hour. Okay. These are the invites for you. Now, this one has the ID number on it. The one on the left, the one on the right, is asking somebody that's interested to message you so you can give them the Zoom number. The one on the left, don't ever post that on social media. You post the one on the right and make them ask for the number. We don't want hackers or spammers or people that are, really not interested, joining us. Okay, on Tuesday night, we've had a couple issues in the past, and we don't use a password. We're trying to make it as easy as possible for your guest to get on and join us, but we got to use a little discretion with posting that ID number when there's not a password. So, anyway, these are the invites. I just did another one too and put that in the group, this blue one on the right. And then I always advise you to always have the live link available to send to everybody that you're expecting to be on. And that live link is also posted in Telegram on Healthy Edge. It's also on Facebook and on our team group there. Okay, so April, are you good?
Oh, you done? Okay.
Yep. I'm gonna stop sharing
Okay.
and give it to you.
All right. Thanks. How's everybody doing? Good.
Very good.
So one of the things that we were asked, and again, I'll put it out there again, if there's something in particular you would like to be trained on, maybe we've even trained on it in the past and you've forgotten that we trained on it. Maybe you weren't with us, whatever. It doesn't really matter because obviously if you need it, others need it too. So we all need different things and we're all growing at different rates because we've all been around for a different amount of time. But what I'm going to talk about tonight is getting started. And so much of this, and I'm by that I mean getting someone new that you sponsor started. And so I know a lot of times we struggle with duplication. And it really depends on that new person that's starting. And I'm going to show you our get started sheet in a minute. But the thing that people tend to do, and this goes back to before you even get them started, know what they started for. And you have to stay along that same theme. If they started for product and they want to get product results, and this is a lot of times, I hate to categorize this because it's not always true, but a lot of times women want to start and use a product first, know that it's a good product before they jump into a business. Now, some of us are more business forward. We see the opportunity, we get on the product and we find out that it's a great product. So it doesn't really matter. There's no right or no wrong, particularly when you're dealing with people that aren't local and, you're meeting them, on Zoom or, I mean, I had a lady from my social reach out from Norway. I mean, it's just, the places can go all over. That's the great thing about this business. It can take you in places that you never imagined being able to get to. But if they start because they want to use the product, your follow-up and you're getting started with them is how to use the product, make sure they're using the product. I had another guy today with he started with Pet Tandem last Monday. His dog's on the product now and getting good results. But again, even though it's just a little product, I have to do the follow-up because, his dog gets great results. And I love when people put their animals on our Pet Tandem. It's not a big product we talk about a lot, but you know what? There's no placebo of that effect when you put an animal on the product. And, this dog in particular was having trouble with its hind legs and probably arthritis and how it was feeling. And already in a few days is doing much better. I mean, that's just great. I just love that stuff when we can hear that. But, we never know where that's going to take us because, the owner is seeing these results in such a short time. Can you imagine what he should be on and what's going on with him and stuff? So, my whole thing is when you start somebody on product, the theme needs to be product. Make sure they're staying on the product, getting some results. And then you can ask, who else do they know? Who else would like those same results? Because, our big thing is we're in networking and we want people to connect us to other people. And we don't have to categorize them as a consultant or a customer, or we don't have to put all these labels on it. A lot of times the worst thing we can do is prejudge somebody before they get started, but then we tend to prejudge people after they get started. And we want to put everybody in all these buckets. And, I was having a conversation early in the week. I think one of the things that Bobby and I have done really well is we don't pigeonhole it to be just heavy opportunity, heavy recruiting, or just heavy product sales. And we tend to go back and forth. And we did this way back with our other company too. We were told never to retail, don't retail. But you know what? If you've got great products and you love the products and you're getting results, why wouldn't you want to share those results with people and let people, if they just want to be a consumer of the product, it's volume, it's all volume. We get paid on volume. So, that's what we want to do with that. The opportunity is going to be a little bit different. And so there are a lot of people that are doing like almost automated get started, programs or stuff, whether it's a funnel or whatever it might be. They show you a bunch of videos and stuff. Again, I think you have a better shot unless you're a super recruiter and you're getting, 20 people started a day or something, and the time is just not there. I strongly believe that you have to get with that person and find out who they're thinking of talking to and give them ideas on who they can talk to. That approach, what videos we have, because we have so many videos at this point. So there's a lot of things that we can do. But this is the sheet that we use that I kind of send over to people right away. I hope this is it. Yeah, okay, let's see. Okay, so I put this up here. This is our sheet that we send over just for information when people get started. Again, the last thing I want to do is overwhelm somebody. Most people getting started in the beginning are excited. They want to know a lot. And I could add some product links to this. Maybe I want to go heavier on opportunity because of the person who's getting started. Again, it's always based on them, but I don't want to send them a whole list of videos and say, watch all these videos when maybe that's not what appeals to them. Excuse me. So, I want them to know their link. If they know nothing else, their link to get people started and to buy product. If they don't know anything else, because I tell you, I spent a good amount of my day for people that got lost. Somebody signed up and they didn't sign up properly under them. And then I have to go to the company. And if it's in the first 24 hours, we're okay. If it's not, it's a pain in the neck. So we want to make sure they know the referral link, the company number. Obviously, they probably already have Bobby's in mind, but this is just
April, make sure they put their number on this, their numbers.
Well, I was just going to say that. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, obviously if this is your sheet, you want to have your sheet on there, whatever, if you're real spare time and you want to put your uplines on there to help out, maybe you've done some three-way calls before so that they can know their number, but whatever, you can make this your own, but this is what we do. Make sure they download the app. Again, the app has those, it triggers you for the goals and stuff. It's amazing. I probably have maybe a quarter of the people fill out just that. So I know people don't want to spend a lot of time doing all this stuff, and maybe I'm not sure why we don't get more of that, but I do want to make sure they download the app because that does make it easy to do a lot of business, get out carts and things like that. Make sure they have a monthly subscription. One of the things that's pretty cool is if they have a monthly subscription, that first order ships free. So, and you always let them know you can change it around. We can do whatever you want. And then I, as the sponsor, put it in my calendar for that date before the auto ship goes out, just to have a conversation with them again in reference to that. So, again, you can save yourself some time by making sure an auto ship doesn't go out that they didn't want. Maybe they wanted to try different products, or they wanted to do something different. Their spouse wanted something. Maybe they just wanted to add to it. So, check back with them, and then, let them know where hub.lifevantage.com is. Lots of information in there for them to, again, get trained, get the get started bonuses are all in there, how we get paid, lots of great information on that. We have our team group. which is, where we have stuff on Facebook. So they can certainly go there very easily, join that. The product page is great, as far as looking to see what kind of testimonies and stuff there. And again, that's a lot of the product testimonies you'll get on Monday, Motivational Monday. Again, it's a phone call. So if you're still in your pajamas at 9 a.m. because you're West Coast time, no worries. Nobody's going to see you. So just got out of the gym, no worries. So it's just a phone call. You can jump on there. LifeVantage page, again, they post things in there that are going on, different trainings and stuff. And that's where you'll see different offshoots. They're doing Activate 90 and some different things right now. But again, that'll be the basis for what's going on between that page and the hub. It'll keep you in tune with what's going on with the business and the company. And that's really what you want. You want to have your hand on what's going on. One of the best things you can do for yourself, again, Motivational Monday or any of these Zooms, Bobby and I don't say you've got to be on all this stuff because our company is doing such a great job. Everybody's sharing. There's so much going on, but you've got to figure out your daily schedule. In order for you and to help your new person figure out what they're going to do on a daily, you got to remember most people getting started are still working full time. So they're not going to have a whole bunch of hours. So it's up to you to point them in the direction. So, if it was a woman who was, just kind of putting her toe in the water and, seeing if the product is for her, I would probably point her to Motivational Monday because again, it's not a lot of heavy comp. It's a lot of product. It's a lot of testimony type thing. If, I just forgot his name. If one of the guys is doing a comp plan training or something, I might point somebody else different to that way. Tyler, yeah, love Tyler. I can't believe I forgot his name, but anytime he's listening, that's high on my list. I got to tell you that gets put in my calendar. So so it just depends, but it's up to us to be able to direct them to all these things. Bobby does a great job of putting everything in Healthy Edge, which is Telegram, which is an app. You go to your phone, to the app section, download it. You'll see Telegram app there, and then you need to look for the subheading of Healthy Edge, and you can join there. And so again, before and after testimonies, upcoming Zooms that are going on, anything, that you might need to know is put in there as well. And if you're new, just go back to media and you can see all the old stuff there. So Bobby also texts people, if that's his phone number at the bottom, if you want a reminder for either our launch or a Sunday night call or something like that, if you need that as well. And obviously, if you're here for the Sunday night training, which, is also recorded on our YouTube channel and in the Facebook, the Team Unity Wins training, as well as on the Healthy Edge. So no reason to miss a training there. And you can always go back to the old stuff. But one of the things that is so important in this business is that, we be consistent. If you're going to be nothing else, you need to be consistent. This isn't a business that you work Monday 8 hours and then don't pick it up for a week. It doesn't quite work that way. It works closest to me to social media. You don't have to spend a lot of time on Facebook or Instagram to get results. But what those social media platforms like is 5, 10, 15 minutes here, go away for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, come back, another 15 minutes here, messaging, just all these little touches. And that's really this business. It's, keeping your thumb on the pulse, but doing all this little networking out there and staying in touch with people. So, set up based on the amount of time that you have, what we'll call like a daily method of operation. If it's your really spare time and you're only going to reach out to 2 people a day, figure out what those 2 people are. Maybe you do 2 new reach outs just to say hello to somebody. You do 2 invites to something. And again, like what we're doing Tuesday night is recorded. And so the way that I personally use that, besides the personal invite, and Bobby and I just sent out a bunch of invites today, but the way that is followed up is throughout the month, that's my tool for somebody that I want to talk to about the opportunity. And so, if it's just product, I tell them, the first 15 minutes is this really cool science that we have our hands on called Activate. You're going to want to check this out. But, and depending on whether they're opportunity or not, I'll say the second half is my husband talking about the business. But you know what? Sometimes I take away the business and then they watch it anyway, and then they have questions about it. So sometimes that takeaway works really well. But make sure you're being consistent, with whatever you do. I can tell you just with going back on Reels, I think it's 2 or 3 weeks, the momentum that is really just all of a sudden starting to pick up. And it's funny because this business is kind of like, the snow out. Okay. So let's say, a snowball, we got to pack it, we got to make it round, we got to make it hard, and then we got to roll it around, try to get it bigger and bigger. And then all of a sudden it gets so big that it just starts to roll by itself. So that's really this business. It takes a little while to get it started, but once you get it started, you can't stop it. I mean, you've got other people out working that want what you have, whatever the vision is you shared with them. One of the best things we can do is help people see what a better life they can have. That little dream that's back there that maybe life has stolen from them, that is no longer around, we can show them how to get it. And that's twofold, because if you're in that spot where you're in a negative spot and maybe you've not done anything for a while and you feel totally stuck and stuff, you've got to get over that hump, because it really is a great business. And we always have this saying that one new recruit is just like, it just makes everything so much better. When you get that one new recruit, it's like you have a whole new business and stuff. And it's a shame that it goes that way. But, again, I can't say anything more than it's not a hard business. It's a simple business, but it's not always easy. And so once we take a lot of the emotion out of it and we just share what we want to share with people, and we don't have all this negativity of who didn't get started, who didn't. I had 2 brand new people on. Andrew's on and Danielle's not. I don't think she got on. So you know what? It is what it is. Obviously, and Andrew wants it more than Danielle wants it. And that's how it is. And I think back to when Bobby and I started. If we did not need to make money so bad that we would overcome the no's or the negatives or whatever people had to say, maybe we wouldn't have been as successful. But we worked that first year. We did not talk to anyone, because it was more important for us to be successful and make money than it was to, worry about what somebody else was going to say about us. The fact that, were we going to lose the house, or what was going to happen financially if we didn't go to work. And so, that set a great, I almost always look for a person, because the thing we can't tell in this business is desire. We don't know who has desire to do it. It just doesn't stand out. So we have to do our best with letting people, again, whether they want to start with product, they want to start with opportunity, lead them to what they want, but always instill a little bit more of that bigger picture, that bigger dream that can go on there. And then again, a lot of these Zooms that people do on the company, some of them are real, medical. You've got that group that does Wellness Wednesday, that can be very heavy medical if that's your thing, very heavy product focus if that's your thing, that's perfect too. But again, caution, you can't take that heavy product information and expect everybody to want that same results. Bobby and I met with one of our docs Friday night, and part of the problem she has is she keeps talking medical, to the point where I said, well, who are we talking to? I mean, are we talking to patients? Are you looking for other doctors? Or are you looking to do corporate wellness? Because I'm confused. I mean, I don't even know what you want, so we really need to talk to people with what they want and not be all over the place. It's just, it doesn't work that way. So, I'm glad she came over. I'm glad we got to spend the time. It had been long overdue, but it's just a fun business. When you think about 2 people that didn't even go to college, and we sit with all these MIT people and these people with photographic memories and successful doctors, it's just like, I remember when we were doing meetings at the Harvard Club, and I'm like, we didn't even go to school here, and we're doing meetings at the Harvard Club. So it's a fun business. You can have a lot of fun with it. But if you're not consistent, consistency, and we should do that. We used to have a what was it, the 10 step program or something. And it's funny because if you did 9/10 of it, you never got the results as if you did all 10 of it. And so I can tell you, even with myself here, I have my desk, my area, and it's almost like, I employ myself. I don't put the TV on. I make sure I'm working. I have my work hours. I fit some tennis in there, but then I come in and I spend the rest of the day. And even when the girls go to lunch, I could go to lunch because I don't have a boss, but I feel I need to get back into the office to work. And so this is part of employing yourself. You can have a lot of time freedom, but you have to employ yourself and you have to spend that time there. Because even if you get people started, if you don't spend the time making sure they're successful, you're not successful. And that's one of the things I always tell people: if you're not successful, I'm not successful. So, but anyway, so this is our sheet that we use. But after that, make an appointment with them, get with them right away before they start talking to people. Because, some people I've had get started, they'll text like 100 people with the same text message, which I can tell you from, being in this business and the way that Bobby and I build our business, on the phone has worked well for me. I don't necessarily book a lot of Zooms because that takes a lot of time, but I do make a lot of phone calls in any given day. And that has worked really, really well because people want that personal touch. And I can't tell you how often people say, oh my goodness, you guys are real. That we get that all the time. You guys are real. They don't expect us to talk. Even when we call downline to see how new people, congratulations on getting started. They're like, wow, they don't expect a real voice to be able to talk to them. So spend your time on the phone, doing the networking part of it. So I'm going to stop this, Bobby, and then I'm going to, I don't know if I forgot anything or whatever, but you can take it
So
back.
the one thing, just to add to that, when you join the business, you're going to get information from corporate. You're going to get emails from them. You're going to join, the corporate Facebook page, and you'll see their post. Everything that April just talked about is what we all do to support our team, okay? And what we advise you to do to support your team, and that's why I said make sure you put your name and number on that sheet. Obviously, ours is there, it's our sheet, but it's there for everybody to use. But here's the other thing that's really important. And, in this day and age, when there's zillions of videos, everybody's putting reels out, everybody's putting videos out. You can't afford to forget the 80, 10, and 10 rule. Okay. And the 80, 10, 10 is this: only how much time you have available daily and weekly. You know what that is. Okay. So whatever number that is, okay, and I'm just going to use for round numbers, I'm just going to say you got 10 hours a week to work this business. Okay. That means, and this is non-negotiable. Okay. If you want to do well in this business, you got to follow this rule. 80, 10, 10 means 80% of your time, or 8 of the 10 hours that you have, is pursuing people or recruiting people into the business as customers or consultants. 80% of the time is doing that. Okay. 10% is on training, and 10% is on personal development or personal growth. And if you find yourself doing a lot of personal growth and you're not doing business, it's because your 80, 10, 10 is out of whack. If you find yourself just watching videos all day long and you're not recruiting, your 80, 10, and 10 is out of whack. Okay. So, what do I mean by 80% recruiting? Sharing what you have with other people, whether it be from a product standpoint to get a customer, from a business standpoint to get a consultant, to set up three-way calls with your sponsor or upline, anything like that, you are pursuing new members and new teammates to join you. 80% of your time should be doing that. So, like Tuesday, when we do a live opportunity meeting like we're doing Tuesday night, your guest have the opportunity to be in the movie. Like, see the Hollywood Squares now? We're looking at it. It's funny, my TV's got Hollywood Squares on it. I was laughing at it when I turned the dial and it was on. But you're giving people a chance to be part of the show. Okay, now we it's funny, I had no idea. April was telling me one of our videos went over 10,000 views the other day. And even our replays, when we do the opportunity, like we're doing Tuesday, that'll be recorded. Okay, from one to the next, the video generally gets viewed about 500 times in between doing it live and then between the next time we do it live. But the best results come from the people who were on it live. Okay, the number of people on the live, that percentage that gets started is way higher than the percentage of the 500 that view it later. Well, why? It's just another video. And there's a zillion videos out there versus them participating live. So that's why it's so important when there's a live event that you take the 80% of your time and spend it inviting guests to join you. And that's kind of how I talk to them. I'm looking forward to seeing you on it. Okay, do me a favor, say hello in the chat when you're on set, whatever it is, okay, but make it special. And that's the 80-10-10. So if you have 20 hours available to build a business, 16 of them should be pursuing consultants or customers, and the other four is training and personal development. So, that's it. That's how you can tell if you're a little out of whack. That's how you can self-correct. Say, wow, where did all my time go this week? And if you backtrack and all you were doing was watching other people's videos and not pursuing your own business, then you got to make a course correction. Okay. And that's how we can stay on track from week to week. So, April, you got anything else?
Oh, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone have any questions or comments or anything they want to share before we call it a night?
I have a question. April, I'm dealing with somebody with the pet tandem. What Bobby's reminding us with a couple recent Zooms of the California team. Have your favorite video at the ready. What's your favorite pet tandem video? Because I'm dealing with somebody with a corgi, that's their kid, obviously.
Yeah.
And I just want to know what's your favorite?
Did you ask them what is going on with the Corky?
No, the corgi
Okay.
seems to be in great shape, but it was just a passion they had, and I was like, I was thinking business, of course, but I was like, let me. And I was on my way out as a restaurant, and I'm like, let me just send you some information.
Okay. So I always ask whatever product there, because I've had people I thought they wanted GLP and it wound up being collagen. So I always ask what kind of results you expect, what's going on and stuff. But a great place to start with things that maybe aren't, GLP-1 collagen, some of our mainstream is YouTube.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah,
YouTube that stuff, make sure you do your follow-up because it's somebody else's video. I've known to download it myself and put it in our YouTube channel so that it goes back to Bobby and I do that a lot too. So, but yeah, YouTube has just been a wealth of information, and there's a lot of great pet tandem, particularly for larger dogs that have hip problems or skin problems. There's a lot of great
I have a favorite picture, Alex, I'll send you.
nice,
It's two dogs out of the same litter, and they're black. I forget what the breed is, but one has been on pet tandem most of its life and the other one not. And one has got all gray beard and gray and looks like he's 10 years older than the other one, and they came out of the same litter.
nice. Yeah,
So,
that
and you know how they say a picture's worth 1,000 words,
speaks
and
volumes.
so I
Yeah,
like to use a picture on that one. And maybe someone that's just in love with their dog and the dog's doing well, that would be say, look at how well this product works as your dog ages, and something like that. But that's it's not a video, it's a picture, but man, is it a powerful picture.
I love it. Thank you. Yeah, awesome.
There's also the inventor of HeartGuard.
Yeah.
does a great video too. So
Yeah.
there's lots of stuff there you can play around and see. So somebody said that's Casey the dog and is a black lab.
Black lab. Okay.
So if you're Googling that or YouTubing it, you can add that information in there too.
All righty. So let's look, we got 48 hours, folks. 80% of your time should be inviting. So let's be inviting for Tuesday night at 8:30. And if you have any interest in seeing, April and I do a lot of wholesale business with salons and doctors and, we don't do a lot with medi spas, but people always ask about that. But our thing is more salons and doctors' offices. If you want to hear how we go about it, because we don't have time to do it on Sunday night, tune in early on Tuesday and, participate. And Angie's call's open, she's great. And, that's why we have the invite there so we can invite all of you if you want to be a part of it. So anyway, that's it, folks. So we will see you Tuesday night, hopefully with a bunch of guests. Nothing better than watching a live opportunity presentation, knowing you got guests on there watching it with you. That makes for a fun half hour. So anyway, have a great night, everyone. We appreciate you. God bless you. And stay warm and out of the snow if you happen to be in that area. So take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Great call.